What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Martin Scorsese review project. In this one, we're going to talk about an ambitious one, but an admirable failure. New York, New York. After the success of that movie, Martin Scorsese had creative freedom to do whatever he wanted. So he was pretty big after that film. So I was looking back into this and seeing actually pretty interesting films. So I will say, going into this, I have seen this movie once before, and at the time it was Martin Scorsese's attempt to make a film musical. He wanted to take a breather from the new Hollywood grittiness and storytelling that he was doing, and wanted to revive the old classic Hollywood musicals with compelling storytelling. Unfortunately, the biggest end result of this is a box office disaster, which drove Scorsese to depression and drugs, which hurt him so badly that it nearly killed his career. So, going into this, knowing that truth, I was curious to see how things were going to go with this rewatch, because I've seen this movie once in 2020 and I remember being okay on it. But this is also based on the story by Earl Mark Roach, who also co-wrote the screenplay. So I wanted to give this a chance, and over the years this movie has been seen as a little bit of a resurgence from some people. So rewatching this, let's talk about this movie and see what went wrong, shall we? Robert De Niro, Liza Minnelli, Lionel Stander, Barry Primus, Mary Kay Place, Francis Evans, and Jack Haley in his final film appearance. The premise of New York, New York is that we follow an ambitious saxophone player who is aspiring, and he meets a band singer during the VJ Day celebrations at the end of World War II. The two become a musical double act, and more importantly, they fall in love. However, they get married, and the outrageously volatile personality places a continual strain on the relationship, and after they have a baby, their marriage crumbles, even as their careers go on different paths. This is a movie that, like I said in the intro, an admirable film, but I can see why this is one of the more forgotten films. Positives, I will say this for positives. This is an interesting film, but I will say, starting off with the best things in this movie are the production design and the costume design. I think for the budget this movie has, the era they're recreating is really well created, especially with the New York representation. You get a great sense that you're in New York. It feels real. It feels like it's being shot on location, and it looks really well done from a production design, costume design, and representation standpoint. The musical numbers are very well done here, especially the infamous New York, New York. Very well choreographed, very well handled, I will say. It's actually really well done, and the fact that Robert De Niro actually played instruments like the ones you're seeing in the movie, which is the saxophone, is actually really admirable. So I would definitely give him credit for that. I will also say I definitely like the songs in this movie. The musical numbers is what I really enjoy. You brought a new kind of love to me, or Once in a While, Just You, Just Me, or Blue Moon, You Are My Lucky Star, or Once in a While, and the theme by Frank Sinatra and by Liza Minnelli. Really well done. Very well done. It's competently well handled, and I definitely have to give credit to where credit is due. So I will definitely give credit to the musical numbers here. I will also say the direction here is good. I definitely admire it, despite the fact that this is a movie that is not Scorsese's best effort, but I appreciate the fact for the story he's trying to take on and the ambition that he's trying to go for here. The acting is very strong, especially from the way he's able to go around it. The cinematography in this is really well done. It's beautifully shot. The musical numbers are well edited, and the homage of classic in Hollywood and older musical numbers of the 50s and 60s, I think it's really well done. And the acting, for the most part, is great. Robert De Niro is fantastic as always, despite the character. Liza Minnelli is good, who is stunning and spectacular in this. And an emotional final screen appearance for the Tin Man himself, Jack Haley, who gives it his all, is also really good. I also really enjoyed the supporting cast in this movie as well. Unfortunately, this movie, the biggest pet peeves with this movie, there's two pet peeves I have with this movie. In almost 3 hour runtime. This is 2 hours and 43 minutes. Which should not be much of a problem, right? Except for the fact that this movie is very exhausting at times with the pacing. And the reason why I find this emotionally exhausting here is because of the fact that we are dealing with a character who is not likable. For the first couple minutes, you have Robert De Niro's character who's just pursuing Liza Minnelli's character to the point of harassment, and every single thing she's like no, and it's like every fucking 5 minutes it's like, will you marry me? No. Will you marry me? No. I'm gonna go get on myself.
Shut up!
It's like that for this entire movie. Do you understand? Like I said, it was what makes this movie a freaking boring and stuff. But the ambitions are a little bit too far. The mixing of the styles doesn't really fully work, and a lot of this runtime has to do with, I don't like it. De Niro is great in the movie. He's played terrible people in past movies, such as Taxi Driver, for instance. But that movie took the material and embraced the direction and the tone to make you better understand the character in that movie, to make you feel a little sympathetic. Here, which is supposed to be more of a lighthearted breeze, his actions, the way he blackmails people to get what he wants, his attitude is so sour, and his treatment to Liza Minnelli really rubs me the wrong way, and it sours this entire damned movie for me. To the point where I'm just sitting here like, oh my god, man, this is not... Those moments, you could have trimmed half of this movie down with those moments. It would have worked significantly better. That's the biggest pet peeve when it comes to this. Point where every time he does this for the first couple minutes, it's like, if a girl says no, just pursue somewhere else or go talk to another woman. You know there's plenty of other fish in the sea. His scenes with this, I get it. The characters in this movie are not terrible. Not even Liza Minnelli's character. But this character doesn't really quite work for me because of the way he acts in this movie. It's just so freaking nonsensical to the point where I couldn't get attached to Robert De Niro in this movie. His character is so unlikable with all the decisions he makes. And not to mention, there's moments in this movie throughout this runtime, the damn scenes of abuse and freaking turmoil. Oh god. Oh god. You guys have no idea how much I hate violence against women, against kids, against animals, or against most men, unless they deserve it with most men. It's not as bad, but anytime in a movie when you do that, sometimes I have to tell myself it's a movie. Sometimes I just can't really get through it half the time. This movie is not as bad as I expect it to be, but it's still really super fucking disturbing and really uncomfortable to watch. I'm surprised with them trying to cancel everything, cancer culture, which by the way, fuck cancel culture. I'm saying that again. I will keep saying that. Didn't try and cancel this like they did everything else. Since the relationship falling apart doesn't really leave much of an impact for me. If I cared about Robert De Niro's character in this movie, if he wasn't a bit of an asshole, I'd feel a lot bad for him. But since he's a bit of an asshole, it's very rough for me to give a shit about a man who is doing these harmless things to his women. And it also doesn't help that there's so many moments of this character gaslighting Lisa into staying with him. Like, I don't want to kill myself or anything. This. And there's moments like, I almost wanted to turn this thing off. No, seriously. I really wanted to turn this movie off because of those scenes alone.
Who wronged you? Why are you the way you are?
Since this is a Martin Scorsese review series, because I was watching it leading up to his new film, and I still have to revisit and re-review some of his other movies that's left, I knew I had to finish this shit. I knew I had to finish this. It took a lot out of me. I could only take so much of the constant abuse and gaslighting, to the point where I was just getting excruciatingly exhausting. Excruciatingly exhausted. That I almost started screaming at the top of my lungs because the main character is just the definition of toxic aggressiveness, except in his 1970s period piece. Like I said, if you would have cut some of those moments out and make Robert De Niro a more likable character in this, I would have really liked this movie a little bit more. But I can't. Again, people, it may sound like I'm ranting and raving on this movie here. I'm really not ranting on this movie. This is not the worst movie ever made. I'm just really frustrated with this movie because of the runtime, because of the tone of slashing. I embrace that he tried, but not much there. The constancies of gaslighting and abuse and harassment and the unlikable lead that you gave Robert De Niro here, which Scorsese didn't write it. Very frustrating and very exhausting rewatch for me that I have only had the patience to sit through only twice, and this is probably my last time watching this. And it has some great production value. The performances are good. The acting is good. Cinematography, the directing, and the song numbers is good. But it's just so many frustrations hold this movie back for me, and I can't recommend it on that same level as much as I want to. So it's just one of those movies that's lesser tier Scorsese. It's not bad, watchable, but if you are someone who is sensitive to abuse against people and gaslight, you're gonna need a lot of freaking patience. My patience is there. It's just I'm always gonna be sensitive to certain things like that in movies. This is not a terrible film. It's just one that exists, but one I can admire. Therefore, it's an admirable failure. Well, that's going to do it for the video that you just watched. If you want to see more, my channel icon is up here. If you want to see more content from me, all my social medias are right here in this end card. I will also leave a playlist and a video here for you to see what the channel is about. As always, acknowledge me, stay epictastic, join the Epictasticness, and you guys keep it cool.